Now I want to talk about blog setup. What we have right now, if we look at this site, is basically a site with one page on it and a sample page that we need to get rid of. And then we have the comments down here and the footer on the bottom. We're going to go into a little more of the theme later on after I get the blog part set up here. So let's go back into dashboard here. And what I want to do is delete the extra posts and pages out of here. So let's go to posts and all posts. Now let's get rid of this hello world here because this came with it when it was installed as a placeholder. And then also with pages, I want to get rid of any pages that were in here. So this sample page, I created the home page before, but let's get rid of this sample page and we'll trash that. Okay, so let's go back to blogging. So with blogging, you have posts, categories, and tags. Let's go to categories first. So what you want to do is create some categories that have something to do with your blog. Doesn't matter what they are. You just decide how you want to group your posts and you create categories for them. You can also have parent and child categories. So if you had something like cars and then you had underneath that classic cars and classic trucks or whatever, you can create a tree of categories. Okay, so let's say trees. Okay, and you can give a description down here. I'm just going to add trees. And then we're going to put here flowers. And so on. Okay, I'm just going to set up a 2 for now. So we have trees and flowers. Now let's go to posts. We have all posts here. There's nothing here now, but you can add a post from within here by add new, or on the left hand side you can click add new. So let's add new post. And you'll see that the same type of editor comes up over here that you have with pages. It looks much the same, except you have a few more options in here. Okay, so I already showed you how the editor and everything works, how you can add media. So I just put in my favorite trees. A money tree may it always be in bloom. All right, so over on the right side, we've already gone over this stuff. Now, depending on the theme, you can have different formats here. So I'm just using the standard format, but depending on your content, you can use any of these other formats. Now down here at category, I'm going to click on trees. And if you don't have a category that matches here, you can add them on the fly. So you don't have to go back to categories. You can add them right here. Tags, you can just put them right in here. So I'm just going to say tree and comma separated and money. And then we can click add. And again with the featured image. Now that we've added the all-in-one SEO pack, you can change the title here. You can put a description in here for this post, keywords for this post, and then the other options here. Okay, so let's publish the post. And let's add one more post. So we'll do add new. Okay, so again, go down and pick flowers here. And do money. Now you see when you already have a tag in here that starts with the same name as what you're typing, you can pick it and then we'll just put flowers. We'll add. Let's go up here and publish. Okay, so we have enough there now that I can just show you how the blog will look. So let's go over here and visit the site. Okay, now you see here we just have the page, and then down here we have the comment, and then we have our recent posts down here. So we can change all this in the theme. But now you can see that here's our recent post. So if we click on this, there's my favorite flower. And then over here, we have our categories. Okay, so let's go back and edit this. Now you see at the top, you can edit the category. You can add a new category. And if you go to the post, you can now edit the post. So let's go and edit a post from here. Now, if you look over here, you have screen options. Click on that. And you see these check marks. You can put any of these sections onto the bottom of the page so you can change them. Now, these ones that are checked are what shows up down in the bottom section here. And you'll see that over here we have discussion. So remember I was talking about overriding comments on the posts level. So we can go here. Now that we've checked that, we'll be able to go down here and allow comments and allow trackbacks. You can turn off right here by on the post level. Okay, so let's update. And now when I go to this page, it won't show the comment box anymore. Okay, so you see the comment box has gone off there now. Okay, now remember I was in here before. I didn't actually save this. So I could put here, allow people to post comments. So I'm going to turn these three off. And now by default, the post comment box will not appear on any page unless I turn them on at the post level or the page level. All right, let's go back and have another look at the site. Now, since we're using this as a blog now, let's change this up. So let's come back into here. We're going to go into settings, and I'm going to take the home page off. So now what's going to happen is it's going to show up in post order. So let's go have a look now. So now you have your standard blog format here. And you see in the menu up here, they can go to the home page by clicking there. And there we are. Okay, so let's go in and edit the theme now. Let's go to widgets. Widgets are areas on the theme that you can add different parts to. So we have search, recent posts. So let's just move recent posts over to the secondary widget area, just so you can see where it is. Okay, now let's go over here and visit the site. Now you see that we have our recent posts over here, which is a more appropriate place in this kind of a layout rather than at the bottom. Let's go back to widgets. And then let's decide what we want. So we're going to move, let's open that. Now we're going to move the search over here. So you can just grab it by the handle and then pull it over there. And then you can switch the order of them just by pulling one on top of the other or below the other. Okay, archives, categories. Meta is the sign in. I'm not going to put that there. I'll put recent comments. And then we're going to just grab this and pull it over here and empty that area out. So we can add any of these widgets over to the right-hand side that we want there. So let's put the tag cloud over just as an example. And then when you click on these, you can change the title, and then there'll be some other options in each of these as well, or some of them. So if we click on this, you'll see that we can change the title of archives and then the way they're going to display. So you can change the widgets like that. So let's go have another look now. All right, so this is a better way to display for a blog. Rather than on the bottom, we now have moved it to the side. Okay, so there is a typical blog type of situation. Now let's look at using it as a website. Now we're going to set up a simple website using WordPress. Right now we have a blog set up. So what we're going to do now is change it to a website. Now with website, you're going to want to use pages. Now we already have a home page. Let's go to all pages. And then let's just edit this a little bit. All right, I just neaten that up a little bit. So what we want to do now is use a page structure rather than a blog structure. So again, we would set this to our home page like we did before. So over to settings, and then we're going to go over to reading, and then we'll go to a static page, which I showed you briefly before, pick the page, and set. Okay, now let's go have a look here now. Now it's perfectly okay to use the posts as pages within your website if you want to do it this way. So you still would have your front page here, and then you would have your recent posts and your archives and so on. It's perfectly fine to do a hybrid like this. However, if you want to create a website that isn't attached to a blog, you can do that as well. Okay, so let's go back and just make this into a straight website without the blogging part in there. Okay, so let's go to pages and then we'll do add new. And now we're going to add an article in here. Okay, now there's not anything to do over here as far as categories and tags are concerned because we don't have them with pages. So let's roll down here. We still have the all-in-one SEO pack here, so we can set all that. Okay, just make sure that this is the way you want it on pages. On a website, you're normally not going to want discussion. Okay, so let's publish. And then I'm going to add one more page. We'll do add new. And I'm going to put another article on here. Okay, so here is our second page. And then again, you can reset whatever you need to within the SEO pack here. And if you want to change the discussion, normally you're not going to want to change the discussion. Okay, so let's publish this one. Okay, now let's go over to the widget area, which is in appearance, and widgets. Now, let's go over to the secondary menu area. We don't want posts. We don't want archives. We don't want categories. We don't want comments. And we don't want tag cloud because we're not using any of that in a website. We're just using our pages at this point. So now we can move our pages over there. And then we can change the title. Let's say navigation. Okay, and then you have a sort order, page title, page order, page ID. And then you can exclude pages. You just got to put their ID in there. But let's just leave that like it is. Now, let's go have a look. Okay, now you'll see down the right hand side now we have navigation and we have our different pages. So let's click on this one. which is our home page. This one is one of our articles. And then this one is the other article. Now you'll notice up in this area, we have them sitting up here too. And this is what's called the menu. So we can have the menu or the sidebar or both. Now it doesn't make sense to have both. So let's go and have a look at the menu now. Let's go up here and go menus. And then you'll see we have menu 1. So whenever there's an area for a menu on a theme, you'll see it over here. Now we can take these all off of here, or we could just leave the home page on here. So to take these off, you just go over here, and then what we're going to do is remove. And remove. Okay, now let's click Create Menu. And now we'll save the menu. Now, I should point out that if you want to move things onto the menu, then you move them over from this side, and then you can move them up and down as well. Now, if we're to go have a look now, you'll see nothing has changed. I just want to point this out before we go any further. You'll see they're still all here, and that's because we have to go in and tell it where they go. So you'll see here, manage locations. Okay, and then this is your navigation menu, and the theme location is a sign menu. So if you have more than one menu position in the theme, you can set it. You'll see them here, and then you can set them here. Okay, so let's save. Now when we go look, you'll see that we just have the home page here, and then we have the other pages here. We can take this off by just putting the post number in if we want to exclude that. Just go back to menus for a second here. Now let's go in here. You'll see you can change the navigation label. So you notice how a lot of these are really long. We could change the label to shorten it up if we wanted to use the navigation menu on top instead of using the widget on the side. Okay, so there is an example of how you can create a website using WordPress. Now you'll see that I still have a comment box on here. So let's edit this page. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove that. And that's because I created the page before I changed the options. So if you change the options first, under discussion and settings, then you won't have to go and change them if you forgot to do it beforehand. Okay. So now if I go look at this page, there you have it. There's no discussion bar on the bottom. Okay, so that's a simple website. Next, we're going to go over how you can create a squeeze page and thank you page. Okay, now I'm going to show you quickly how you can create a squeeze page out of any theme. So I'm just going to use the theme that I am using right now. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to empty out the content in the middle here by taking away the sidebar here, or the widget bar, and then we're just going to fill it up with whatever content we want. So this is a way you can do it without having anything special. Now there are other ways to do it. You can buy specific themes that are created specifically for lead capture pages. And there are also some plugins you can use to create them as well. But I just want to show you how you can do it with any theme you like. So let's go back into pages here. So dashboard, pages. Now I could delete all these, but I'm not gonna because we'll just work around them here. All right, so I'm gonna just create a quick little example here. And then in the center here, this is gonna be where our stuff is. So in here, you could put a YouTube video, for instance, or you could put a picture, or you can just put text. So it's really entirely up to you. So I'm just going to put a picture in here that we already have up. So let's just add this. And then let's left justify it. And then let's put some text here. Now, if you highlight this, you can go over here and you can turn this into a heading. Okay, so that was a little too big to fit there. Let's make it a heading 3. Now, when you use a heading, of course, it automatically converts to a new line. That's why it went down underneath here. So let's just go back and undo that. So we'll just make it a paragraph. And then we can just make it bigger here by changing the font size. Now, if you don't want to do it in here, you can always use a web editor. So let's open up Composer. Composer is a free web editor you can download. Just search for Composer, like you see in the title bar up there, Kompozer. So let's get the permalink for this file here, for this picture. Okay, and there's the permalink here. Let's copy that. And then we'll use that in the Composer here. So we'll do image, paste that in there. Take the alt tag out. So you can change the dimensions here if you want. Okay, they look awful large here. So let's make this 400. You'll see that it kept the dimensions there. Okay, and then appearance, so we want to wrap to the right. Click OK. Okay, now we can put our headline here. Okay, so now we have a lot more editing tools that we can use. So we can just hit this and bold it, underline it, change the color. Then you can continue. Okay, and then you could go and get your opt-in code from your autoresponder and put it right in here. And I'm just going to put opt-in code. But you would go to whichever one you're using, Aweber or GetResponse or whatever. You'd get the code that you need for the form you designed, and you'd put it there. Okay, now what you do is you go to Source, and you take everything underneath the body tag. So let's find the body. So there's body. So everything between there and the slash body tag, do a copy. I got an extra character there, but we'll fix that in a sec. Now let's go back over here. Go to text. Let's get rid of all this. And paste this in here. a look. Okay, and then you can tweak it in here if you don't like the way it looks once you get it in here. Okay, so once we have that the way we want it, we'll just publish. Now we need to go to settings and we need to go to reading. And then we need to change this to get this now and save changes. Let's grab a look. Now we haven't done everything yet. We're still going to have to get rid of some stuff. But there would be our start of our squeeze page. We still got to get rid of this. So let's go back to widgets. And then we want to go over here, remove everything. Now let's have a look. Okay, so that took everything out of there. The only thing we have left is this up here. So we can go into menu now. And then we can go here, remove, save, go back and look again. And there you have it. Now you notice that we left something down here. Something must have gone wrong in the widgets. Let's go back. Oh, accidentally dragged this one over here. So let's get that out of the way. And let's go back and have another look now. And there it is. Okay. Now you would create a thank you page in the same way. And then of course your opt-in form would direct you to the thank you page. Now I haven't talked about changing the header and stuff, and we're going to do that in the next video. I avoided editing the theme in any of the other sections because I wanted to put it separately. So I want to show you how you can edit the colors and put your own header in and stuff like that. So let's go up here and let's go to customize. You can also get to this from within the dashboard. Okay, so what we want to do now is change the header image. Now it comes with headers, but what you can do is you can create your own. So right here it says you need 1600 by 230 pixels of a header to put in here. So just create one that size or have one created. Okay, so I created a custom one real quick. So I'm going to do add new image. Now I'm going to upload. And then I'll do select here, or I could drag and drop it in. Let's drag and drop it in. Let's insert it. Okay, now there's a crop feature here. So if it wasn't the right size, you could crop it. I don't really need to, but I'm going to just do it anyway. And there it is. So let's save and publish. Now look what's happened. Here's our custom banner, and there is the text underneath. So if you roll down here, sometimes they put it in different places. It might be in here. Yeah, so you can click this display header text, and then that goes away. Okay, so that's how you can use a custom image for the top there. You also have colors. Now this doesn't work on all themes like this one, but some of them will allow you to change colors in different places. Okay, and then navigation. This is where you set the menu. So we have the menu one. We don't need to do anything there. And really that's all we can change in this one. Sometimes you can change the background, but this one doesn't have that. So there may be different things in different themes. Okay, so let's just grab that out of there. Close this. Okay, so there we go. That's how you can customize it with your own banner. Now, if you're good with CSS, you can go further. You can go into here and let's go down to themes. And then you can go down to editor. Now, this is not for everybody, but if you know what you're doing, you can go into the style sheet here and you can make changes. Now, the only problem with doing this directly is if the theme updates, it'll overwrite it. So it's a good idea to use a child theme. And I'll include a separate video on child themes in the package. You can also go and change any of the other codes you like in here. Okay, so now you know how to get WordPress installed and set up, how you can use it for blogging, websites, and for lead capture pages.